Wait. This week the movie is F divided by X. I don't want to watch a math movie, y'all. I already watched Pi. God damn it.
Will you at least
Do
define
homework?
X for us, Ken? Define X. Define X. This will make it.
I was thinking this was just F1, then we had F4 this summer, and this was just like the third one.
Or not the 10th one?
They're jumping ahead. I don't know how that
FX would
works.
be the 10th one, I think. This movie, if you read it sideways, it looks like Fix. But I don't know if it's broken. Hey, we're talking 1986 FX this week.
That's cinema, baby.
Sonny Corleone was a Long Island tough, big eggplant energy, but it wasn't enough. Quattro lived in a belly, but he got one in the brain. My feet exploded, Nessie driving RoboCop insane. Clyde had a gun for fighting, Bonnie wanted one for fun. They was only 24 and 25, and she got 26 shots when they died. And there were squibs when they died. There were squibs when they died. There were squibs and they died. There were squibs and they died. Yeah, they made a big...
Hello, and welcome to The Good, the Pod, and the Ugly, a film podcast. We are in our 15th season. We have historically covered directors or actors. We've picked films that we feel are emblematic of their entire career. But this season, we are talking about an effect. It's the squib. You probably know the squib when it's used with a blood pack called a blood squib, and someone gets shot and it explodes. It's also going to be used on walls, cars, windows, all kinds of stuff. It's squib season. I'm Ken.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Ryan.
Hey, one material you left out that we're going to talk about today. Satin.
I know, right? Are you adding it to the bingo card or what?
I'm adding it to the bingo card. Yeah, it's there. It's there now.
Who knew? Now it's going to become like a weird fetish. Not for me.
Well,
as soon as Venora gets up, I said, wait, I've seen this movie before. No way. Not again.
So yeah, we're covering FX. This is the bottom half of our pairing. We for whatever reason, we're doing a temporal pincer movement, which we haven't said in a while. Ryan, you have the best summary of what a temporal pincer movement is.
A temporal pincer movement, which we started doing before Christopher Nolan blatantly stole that idea.
Suck it, Chris!
Is when we look at a director or actor's filmography starting at the beginning and the end, and then working our way into the middle.
So this time, we're doing that with the effect of the squib, which means we have 3 episodes left and we're dead in the middle of... We're not dead. We're alive, except for Jack. And listen, last episode. We are now in the very middle of this. We're in the 80s, and we're going to be in like 86 and 87, 88, 89 for a little while.
The heyday of the squib, perhaps.
This is a great one because the lead character is actually a practical special effects person on movies.
This is kind of maybe what we should have started with if we weren't doing a temporal pincer movement. So this every pairing, I try and find things that I have in common.
Okay. I've been waiting for this all week.
This is a shorter list, if you can imagine. Between the 42-minute Alan Clark BBC made for television Elephant and FX. Both were shot and released in the 80s. Both have cigarette smoking. Both have a warehouse. And both somebody enters an apartment.
Ooh.
Both have filming in Europe. Think about the end of FX.
Yeah.
Okay. Both contain an actor from a British colony.
True.
And both have shootings in a restaurant.
Wow. Okay.
Done.
Good
Done.
job.
Excellent. I'm impressed.
Thanks. Yeah. So 1986, we've also covered from that year Star Trek, The Voyage Home during the director's season. Heartburn, which I know we watched, but I had to go back and confirm that we had watched it. Because even though I had listened to the book, it doesn't matter. It's a very beautiful movie.
That almost broke up my marriage.
Heartburn did?
Yeah, because Andy and I had watched a year before and she was on the Streep season. And I said, well, you have to watch it again. She says, I refuse to watch it again. And I said, everybody else is putting in a few hours to watch this piece of shit like me. So you have to watch it. And she was so mad. But it ended up being a great episode. So there you go. And we're still together. Go ahead, Thomas.
For
Sorry.
now. Manhunter. Great film, Manhunter. Peggy Sue Got Married and Heartbreak Ridge.
Not the worst year, really.
No.
Heartbreak Ridge and Heartburn would have been a great pairing.
So was this y'all's first watch? I'm going to start with the second oldest. No, yeah, and the second youngest, Ryan.
Yes. No. Ryan is my name. This is the second time I've seen FX.
And the first time?
When I was a youngster, it would have been near when it came out. We rented the video, my mom and I watched it.
Wait, okay, you rented the video FX, not the film, my mom and I.
No, yes, we rented the video FX, which I watched with my mother.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ken?
This is an 80s movie, so if this is on your podcast bingo card, my dad, my brother, and I saw it opening weekend. I believe I watched it on video 2 or 3 times since. I had a late night board viewing of it a couple years ago, and I watched it yesterday for the podcast. So probably about 5 or 6 times, all told.
Got it. And board is BORED, right?
Correct. How about you, Thomas?
I thought I'd seen this before. Like I was certain, and I think I watched FX2 a bunch with my dad.
Yeah,
it must have been replaying on Showtime or something.
Yeah.
So this might have been the first time I've ever seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah, it was.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
No reactions yet. Shh.
FX, also known as Murder by Illusion. Its original title, and then became its tagline.
Okay. That's not a bad tagline, actually. It's a better tagline than a movie title.
True.
FX is a great title.
Did y'all do it? Oh, how'd you watch it? Did you watch it streaming? Because I ended up getting a Kino Lorber copy from the library. Did. Yeah,
which one?
Some special features.
Which library?
Oh, the Multnomah County Library.
Oh, shout out. I watched it on Bezos' channel. Also, Bezos, fuck you. I was paying for commercial-free movies, and then you just added commercials and added commercial-free as an upgrade. Fuck you forever.
I think I watched this on Tubi, so I had no problem.
Very good.
With the commercials.
And this is our second Dennehy of the season.
It is.
Yeah.
I miss the guy.
Well,
yeah,
no,
great.
It's not our second Dennehy because we had seen him previously in Jericho Mile during our Michael Mann series.
Oh, well, I meant this season or second Dennehy.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the year before he would have been in Cocoon, Silverado, and Twice in a Lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, and then this year he's super working, right? So 3 movies the year prior. This movie, he's not a co-lead, but he's like definitely super supporting, right? Like if it's not a two-hander, but it feels like it whenever he gets on screen. To me, at least.
Yeah, he was like bigger than a supporting actor, not size-wise, but he was never like a lead in these studio films. But yeah, for a while there, he was a name. You're like, oh, it's like when Gene Hackman was a supporting actor, Ned Beatty. You'd go like, oh, that guy's good.
The other 2 films he was in this year, I've never seen Legal Eagles. I hear it's a movie.
It is.
And the other one, I think it might be like the movie Send Back This Draft that they shortened to Backdraft and shot. That was the note on the script. Because the other movie is The Check Is in the Mail. And it really seems like a bad title for a movie. It's like phoning it in, the movie. But I've not seen that either.
Okay.
It might be good.
Yeah, Dennehy was a great supporting actor. He always a welcome presence in any movie from the 80s.
So I was not very familiar with the other Bryan that is the star of this film, and that's Bryan Brown. I guess he would be in Cocktail shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if I've ever seen. I know the premise of it, kind of. But yeah, I'm not a cruise completist.
How dare.
But after FX2, he would end up leaving the States and going back to Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, because of this podcast, I know what a cozy murder mystery is.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, he's been in an ongoing series, Darby and Joan, in Australia. And it's a Australian cozy murder mystery, crime, comedy, drama. So it sounds like it has all the things except for science fiction.
Yeah.
Maybe not a musical. Wait. Talking about Australians, though. The sequel, which I have definitely seen, was directed by Richard Franklin, an Australian, who was also the director of, at the time, the longest duration between original and sequel, 1983 Psycho 2.
Which is an underrated movie, if you ask me. But
and I actually might have gotten that mixed up because Franklin was one who was disillusioned after directing the action thriller FX2, The Deadly Art of Illusion, which I think was more of a two-hander with the Bryans.
Yeah, I'm surprised rewatching FX how long it takes for them to meet each other, because you think, oh, it's Bryan Brown, Brian Dennehy, they're going to have an adventure together, right? They're going to be like, oh shit, and jump off a building as it's exploding behind them, that kind of stuff.
Freeze frame.
They barely meet at all until the very end of the movie. It's kind of a wonky way of structuring the story compared to what we're used to maybe seeing movies from the 80s on.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you went into this movie thinking there was FX2.
Which is a buddy movie.
Yeah. And which might also be what the television series is like. I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe one of you had seen the television series. You knew.
Never saw it. I knew there was a TV network, but I did not know there was a TV show.
Yeah, I think it was like a season or two of the television show. You knew the thing last week or whenever that was with the guy who turns into animals and solves crime. That lasted less than a season. Was it Manimal?
Manimal.
Yeah. You knew who started that. I figured you had seen some FX on television, but okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Sorry.
I vaguely remember the show coming on, but every season in the late 80s, early 90s, they would debut a show or two based on a movie, and it felt like they all only aired for like 3 or 4 episodes, and then they were yanked.
Yeah. Does someone want to give a shot at the plot to FX?
I actually wrote nothing down because I was so enamored in it. But I was going to give a little bit about the director before we jump.
Oh yeah, please do.
Yeah, so Robert Mandel, best known for School Ties. But this is have you seen School Ties?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
A lot of like formative for a lot of actors' careers.
Yeah.
But he got that Pauline Kael bump for his first film, Independence Day, which is not the 1983. It's not the Will Smith.
Will Smith?
It's not Will Smith.
Punching Aliens?
Nope. 1983. It's a drama. It's by the writer of Practical Magic, Alice Hoffman, and it has David Keith in it, I think.
Not enough.
It has David Keith in it. It has David Keith in it. David Keith being the person from Major League 2 in 2003's Daredevil, not Keith David, who was in Armageddon. Not to be confused with Independence Day either, but both were in the mid-90s, kind of like high budget Earths in Peril movies.
Yeah.
But Mandel, this would be a second film. Originally, they thought it was going to be more of a graphic B action movie.
Uh-huh.
They shot him and his editor. His editor actually did something, I think, behind his back, which was they shot the first sequence, which I believe was the fight scene between Brown and his assassin, would-be assassin, who comes into his house after the Satin Squib. I think they shot that sequence and he edited it and showed it to the producers. It's either that or the opening of the film with all the special effects. He showed it to the producers and they gave him a larger budget to do more things.
Really?
Which is apparently like a no-no to show any cut of the film to people prior, but he was glad that they did. He would feel a little self-conscious because it was a second film, And his second film is an action film, and he's never directed a car chase scene. But he thought that everybody was like super supportive, and everybody else knew the roles, so he could kind of just focus on other parts of the movie that he felt more comfortable in, including like character development and character building. His final film, if I recall correctly, 1999, was The Rage, Carrie 2.
Oh.
The film was originally called The Curse, and didn't have any connection to the Carrie novel or film, but it was rewritten to be a direct sequel to the 1976 film 23 years later.
Wow.
And that he fired from that or left it. And so that would have been his last film, and it got picked up by Kate Shea, who also had starred in Psycho 3, which was directed by Anthony Perkins, to finish that movie out.
Wow.
That is Robert Mandel by way of Kat Shea and Anthony Perkins.
Okay. All right. Plot.
Brian is a FX producer who works on Hollywood pictures, and he is hired by the FBI to stage the assassination of a mobland kingpin who's turned state's witness. However, he quickly finds out that the staging was a setup by crooked members of the FBI, who then try to first convince our hero that he really killed the guy, and then go after him to kill him, to silence him, to cover up their crime. And there's money also.
They're not FBI, though, I didn't think.
That's a Justice Department, right?
Yeah.
The FBI is the law enforcement arm of the Justice Department. But
okay.
I'm not trying to quibble, I'm sorry.
Okay. And also the FX guy named Rollie, played by Bryan Brown, who's kind of an asshole. It's kind of refreshing to see an asshole in a movie. He has to use all of his FX from his Scooby-Doo van full of FX to get back at the people who framed him. It's great.
He's got a great sidekick, who's like his FX partner, and she's just kind of scrappy and down to play, down to fright.
What's her name again?
Oh,
it's Andy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a blind gender casting or if it was just written as an A-N-D-Y and they cast the best person, but she's great.
It would make sense if it was originally written as a man, because in a genre film, typically that would have been a love interest, and she's not in this.
She's in Practical Magic, though, in 98.
Yeah.
The actress, I'm sorry, not the character.
Good to
She's
know.
alive at the end of the movie. It could have been her.
It's true.
So you have, Law and Order? Is that who he's from?
Oh.
Yeah, Jerry Orbach.
Lenny Briscoe himself, Detective Lenny Briscoe, as a mob boss before Law and Order. I think he played a lot of characters like the one he plays here.
Well, my understanding is he was coming from theater. Like, he hadn't done much at this time on screen. And this was kind of his transition over.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Oh, I was so stoked to see Tom Noonan in this.
Yeah. It's got a great cast, really.
Really, one of the most impressive things about it is the amazing cast, yeah.
Do we want to give a spoiler for how it ends? Because that goes into my reaction a little bit.
Well, do you want to talk about the movie itself for a while?
Oh, so the movie opens, interestingly. It sounds like a reaction. The movie opens with a fake out.
Exactly as you know it's going to start, even if you haven't seen the movie before. The second it starts, you go, oh, this is one of those fake movie openings.
I was totally snookered by it, to be honest.
Were you?
Yeah. The magic trick certainly worked on me. Oh, this is the movie he's working on. Fascinating.
Diane Venora with a blonde wig. That was kind of weird.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wild that she is only 2 years away from Bird, in the sense of just being a fully recognized actress. Yeah. So you said he's a bit of an asshole. I feel like some of this movie is one of the things I was interested to see. I was going to say vibing. That's a bit of a reaction. Uh, is that there's a casualness to relationships.
Yeah.
Where it's like there might be a little bit of a fight. There might be, but there's not like drama for its own sake. And there's everybody seems to kind of enjoy and like each other, including some of the ad lib stuff between Dennehy and the other officer who's behind the computer.
Oh, the Velez with the huge, big, sexy frames. I'm a sucker for a girl with huge eyeglasses frames. I'm sorry. Maybe I made too much information for our listener.
Apparently, she's that actress. That actress and that character is in FX too. I don't remember that. I guess I don't have the same type of seminal influence. Nope. It would have been around that time for me. I would have been, and so it must not be a fetish for me. Big frame.
Yeah, she's competent too. I mean, the way Dennehy treats her is kind of weird, but she's shown as being very competent and an important part of moving the plot forward. And also, like Dennehy, it doesn't appear until like 40 minutes into the movie. Very unusual structure for somebody who gets co-billing like Dennehy. His character doesn't even appear until after all the stuff with Lenny Briscoe and then the feds framing Bryan Brown. It takes its time.
I mean, it's interesting because when Orbach dies, it seems in the film during the setup, presumably, spoilers will follow. It does seem like he is dead, and that is in tracking with like people who can come into and out of the film and be killed or leave, and just we're not confused like where they went when they left the screen. We know that like when he rejoins with his partner, it feels great. Like that's a card that you're not sure which cards are going to necessarily play because they've dealt themselves such a large hand, I guess is what I'm going with.
Yeah. Yeah, because when Clifty Young as Lipton Tea, when he turns out to be a bad guy, nobody. His last name is Lipton.
Okay.
And Bryan Brown has a joke in there when he first meets, they ask for coffee.
That's
and he
right.
says, "Oh, actually, my name is Lipton." He says, "Oh, maybe you'd prefer tea."
True. Very
really low hanging fruit, but very funny.
I know that it killed in Australia.
Yeah. It's no surprise when he turns out to be a bad guy, but Mason Adams is so convincing when Bryan Brown calls him up. You're like, "Oh, well, Lipton's going to kill Adams." That's what I was thinking. But then the camera turns after the second phone call, and Lipton Tea is right there, and they're all in it together. It's great because you're right. They dealt such a big hand. You're not really sure.
Yeah, that's my reaction.
Big hands, not sure.
I do like. Okay, we're gonna get a little bit into reactions. I feel, but I think talk about the plot. It's kind of hard not to talk about a little bit about reactions. So this is another movie on the bingo card where somebody. We have a homeless protagonist at one point because he's not able to go back to his home. He's living on the streets for a little bit. I mean,
that's right.
There and live there, right? But when he comes from the underground, wearing. Okay, this is great. There's this moment. He's being hunted. He's, I think, reconnected with his assistant, Andy. And Andy's brought him I don't know, his bug out bag of disguises. And so, but you don't know that's what's in there necessarily, right? Like, and so you see them, like it's nighttime, they're going to crash. There's other vagrants there. And then it's the next morning and you see somebody come like lift up like I don't know, it's not a sewer cap, but it's something equivalent to it, of like coming up from the underground. And you see the person walk out, you're like, oh man, he's in disguise. And it's not him. Because the next two people that come out, he's very obviously wearing makeup. Not so much so that if you like glanced at him, like it seems very real. Like if you glanced at him, you wouldn't think anything necessarily. You think like, oh, that guy looks strange, and just keep moving. But having it on camera, it definitely feels like he put on his makeup in the dark.
Yeah. 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 We didn't mention Paul. No. Who's the guy that plays Nathan Arizona? Trey Wilson. Yeah, Trey Wilson is in this, and his character, as far as being the one assigned to the case and being an antagonist for Brian Dennehy's character, I feel like that plot line is introduced so late. But then Brian Dennehy's character in the second half of this movie almost kind of takes over in a way, and his plot of being on the outs, of doing all the stuff that cops who bend rules to get to the truth or whatever, is fascinating. And like the antagonists in his department aren't necessarily turn out to be bad guys. They're just antagonists within the police department. They're not like in a modern movie, they would have to be connected in some way to the big whole scheme.
Right.
Like, Gallagher would have to be a part of making sure everybody thought Jerry Orbach was dead or something, and he would be getting a piece of it. I don't know.
Or it would be, what's the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry, where like all the cops are this fraternity, this murder club.
Magnum Force.
Yeah, so I think there would be something like a cabal, even larger. But no, people can be antagonists without being evil or
without
bad.
being part of the main plot of the movie. That's just work life. Very accurate. Yeah, there's all those little things, and then the part where he gives up his badge and whatnot, and then pretends to be almost fainting, and then he leaves, and then one of the cops still in the office is laughing and says,
"He stole your badge."
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a great moment. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" when that happened, just because I don't know. You kind of root for these guys. It's the 80s, so the government was both the problem and the solution. We were all messed up back then, but definitely on Dennehy's side.
Yeah, it's interesting that we're speaking, like, as I think about the movie, I think so much more about the Dennehy stuff than I do the Bryan Brown stuff. But one of the things that's interesting about the film, in still talking about plot, not reaction, is that the character of Rollie does remember that his girlfriend was shot in front of him. And it's sad. Despite having a rip-roaring time, he does remember that someone was murdered in front of him, and then
yes,
and then he's killed somebody as well.
Yeah, it's really surprising at the end with the I don't want to say assault because he's using special effects gags, but his inside the big mansion of the big bad. Oh, he kills people. It's not like in a PG-13 movie or even a modern R-rated movie where they wouldn't let him go that far, and you would see the person maybe struggling a little bit afterwards, unconscious. But Brown legitimately seems to kill these people.
Yeah,
and in the world of the movie, it's okay.
Yeah, all some kind of law enforcement people, and he's just taking them out left and right.
Yeah.
Well, so I think that's where you get to this being originally like a graphic B action movie.
Oh yeah.
And then somehow they're able to like sand those edges off enough that it becomes the film that we saw and we're reacting to now.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it was like a late 70s movie and it was like, I don't know, Jim Brown or something doing it, then but it would have that B movie feel where it's okay. It's within the world, but this is definitely elevated B movies.
Yeah,
which is what Hollywood was transitioning to at the time.
I was thinking Bronson.
Oh, that's a good comp.
Where he's just Charles Bronson's just matter of fact about all these murders that are happening. Just kind of shrugs. Yeah, the ending is interesting for that, where it's a little bit like I don't know, Captain America deflecting bullets and killing people, maybe, as opposed to no, I guess Captain America doesn't do that. Where the idea of like a 90s revenge thriller is like, I'm not going to kill you, but you're going to die.
Yeah.
I don't have to save you. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Uh-huh.
And it becomes a little bit. There's parts of it that are very close to that, where he doesn't pull the trigger or put the or do the electrocution necessarily.
Yeah.
But the person walks into the electrocution or ends up shooting the other person that they think is the character of Rollie.
That the scene with the mirror and Noonan and the other guy is so satisfying.
Yeah, that's one of the great.
That was another fuck yeah moment.
Yeah,
there are a couple like that, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed this viewing of it. Some great squibs too.
Yeah, there's two things I want to talk about with that, but I mean, I think the most of all that is that Orbach's not dead. Had faked his death, and so what Rollie does is he like super glues a gun to his hand. And has him run out the front door where there's like a team of New York State Police waiting for him.
Death by cop. Yeah. Live by it, die by it. I'm okay with it.
So one thing that I appreciate a lot about this film, and it's again talking about the 90s stuff, there's a twist in this movie that is integral to the plot and to characters, and doesn't like you could take it out and you still have a fun movie at some level. But then there's another twist on top of that twist, which is but is like, and it's almost like realism setting in on the first twist, such that the twist in the film you think is that we'll call him the FBI because Ryan is the FBI is setting up a special effects person to fake a death. When in fact they are crooked, and this is a secret operation, and the secrecy of it is part of like the whole deal. And they're getting the special effects person to also pull the trigger and convincing and to kill somebody. And so, as a viewer of the film, I totally buy that, right? Like, oh, he's really killed somebody, and now they need to kill him.
Yeah.
Which doesn't quite make a lot of sense, but makes enough sense in like movie logic. Only to find out in the final act or towards the very end that no, in fact, that fake death was a fake death, wasn't a real death, and so they could get him out of the country to get his money.
Yeah. Yes.
And so that makes a lot more sense as far as a twist than the first twist. But I was going along with the first twist because it's just like a momentum towards that understanding, and everything in the film is telling you that this is true without having to do any flashbacks at the end of like revealing clues that got you along the way. Like, no, it all just makes sense. And it's a very clever, what is that, a crossover? There's probably some type of mystery or detective story for that double cross that happens.
Yeah. It very much a high concept from the outside, but the actual script and plot is quite clever.
And although there is on that, like there's not like there's not anything that's supposed to make your head spin when you see it. You're supposed to be instead just like, oh, that's clever, and move on. Like in the movie Sneakers, I would say is a similar type of storytelling.
There is one part of the script that I had to pause and rewatch because I couldn't believe it. It's not a good part. It's when Velez, the totally sexy lady with the big glasses, where she's reading the guy that was killed in Bryan Brown's girlfriend's apartment, and then she says, "The rest is N.A." And then Dennehy nods and says, "Not available." It's just in case you didn't know what it meant.
No, N.A. could be non-alcoholic. It could be not applicable. Like,
okay,
you do need a little North America. It does help to know what this plot speaks
within the context. Okay, never mind. Squibs, though. Do we want to talk about squibs?
Good squibs,
absolutely, yeah. But right prior to that, the second thing that's amazing about this film to me is that, and we've touched on it, but I don't think that we've gone deep enough. This is a film with special effects that stars a special effects as its protagonist, a special effects makeup artist, with his own production company. Yeah, that's just like a genius idea. And the beginning of the film is a fake out to show you how a shootout looks on
In a
screen
restaurant.
at a restaurant that's fake, so you could see that again later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, in a way, it's all there in that opening. It's telegraphing that this, like what you're about to watch, is in the film. We start to become Inception level of detail. In the film that's involving Rollie trying to prove his innocence, or at least not be killed by a bunch of cops, is going to be a fake. Like he's on the wrong path.
Yeah.
He's in a film of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they play him well by saying they're going to bring in Stan Winston or whoever the other guy is. And that's his impetus to get in there. He makes that choice because they're talking about bringing a different makeup artist to do the job.
Yeah, that was
And
very clever.
Yeah, that was really funny. But that's the other part of him that seems very human and makes him kind of a jerk, but makes him more compelling.
And I don't think that was in the original script. I think that's something that the director developed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very clever. Yeah. And Squibs, we could do the rat-tat-tat here because we're bringing that back, right? Rat-tat-tat. That one thing watching it, I thought, oh, well, they're going to show what an actual squib is. And while we see them, one of the really smart things is they don't go into too much detail. Like you don't see the blood packets and whatnot, because you would be thinking about that when characters are quote unquote really shot later on. It would take you one step out of the reality of the movie if they'd gone into too much detail. But when they're putting on Orbach's like face mask with the little blood squibs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I knew what it was because of this season. I don't know if I would have necessarily otherwise. And then they put the big protective plate on him with the receiver. I said, well, that's kind of what it's like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't go into so much detail that you're thinking about it later on in the movie when dudes are really getting shot.
Yeah, I was fascinated with the radio controlled. I didn't know that was a tech that they used, but it seemed to be, the squib seemed to go off due to a frequency transmission.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we have monster squibs in this one. We have another example of satin squibs, which is really weird. Then we have shotgun squibs, regular gun bullet squibs, face squibs. It's quite a bit.
Yes, it's a great film for this series.
Oh, fish tank squibs, for fuck's sake. The opening has like 1 million of them with that fake out movie thing where all the fish tanks, it's a classic when fish tanks explode and all the water comes on the floor and people are running and screaming and slipping. Who doesn't love that?
This is great because I think we've obviously defined squibs many times in this series, but this film shows you how often they can be used and how little you might think about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's also the plot point where once Rollie is in and then they say, oh, you know what? You're the one that has to pull the trigger. That's the second decision he makes that kind of dooms him to getting, well, he eventually gets $15 million, but it also costs him the life of his lovely girlfriend played by Diane Venora.
As with every killing in this movie, he seems mighty tore up about that.
Okay. Once we get done with the squib thing, I do have a question as I'm thinking about it. So, weakest squib or best squib first?
I like the monster squibs best.
The monster squib is good. I think the guy getting shot behind the mirror is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Did you have a weak squib, Thomas? I didn't really pick up on any weak ones.
Well, there was a time where they could have had a squib that they didn't. And that's on the phone booth. When they shoot the guy who's the wrong dude, it just happens to one of those freak moments, right? Where somebody else looks very much like him, needs to use the phone, and they send some hired killers to shoot him, which is when he realizes he's totally fucked and can't go back.
He's got to murder all those cops. That's the only solution.
What's your favorite, Thomas?
Oh, the satin squib. Just because it's so unexpected.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have a three-way tie. Not tie, but who's going to switch?
I'll go with the mirror. I think the monster's more fun, but okay. Never mind, I'll stay monster. I'm team monster. Go for the mirror, Thomas.
I'm just doing a three-way tie. It's fine.
All right.
everything we do is all made up, all the rules of this entire planet. So change it if you want. Who cares?
I was a little upset because I thought we were going to get more man buns for the bingo card. And while we get some tidy whities and some
A lot.
Auto,
There's so much tidy whitey in this. I thought it was almost like a commercial at one point.
I mean, that is Australian business casual because he's like answers the window or something for the Lipton tea. He's like, "Come on up,
Come on up, mate."
Yeah. Well, that does
step into something a little bit more casual.
That does. So I remember when FX2 came out, and my understanding from Entertainment Tonight, which is something I watched religiously as a young teenager. So the reason the gap between FX and FX2, which is 5 or 6 years, was due to the fact that it wasn't a huge hit in the theater, but it was a huge hit on video. And specifically with housewives, like my mom, who rented this for us to watch.
No. Why would she want to watch this movie? Because Brian Dennehy fan, maybe?
Bryan Brown was a fucking hottie. Bryan Brown was a hot guy for the moms of the world in the late 80s and early 90s.
And I think that streak of assholery that Australians, totally great continent and country, don't get me wrong, but they're particularly good at playing sexy dudes who are kind of assholes.
He's got real Paul Hogan energy in this. It's true.
Yeah. And early Mel Gibson energy.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I just think he's hot, but yeah. I didn't realize that. Well, I would check that fact. But here's the thing I thought I had a handle on, and maybe I don't, and I don't have time to think on it, so I'm just going to ask out loud to y'all. In the world of the movie, why does Rollie need to be the one to pull why does he need to be killed or be the one to pull the trigger? Why does he need to be the one to pull the trigger?
Because they said that Lenny Briscoe said that he's the only one that he trusts because he's the one that set it all up and he's worried about. If something won't go wrong if the guy who set it up is doing it. I think that's the logic.
So that's the lie. And
that's
then
the lie.
The real reason.
Because no one knows that he's faked his death.
Yes. And so there's no trace of what happened.
But could they not have just killed him and then done the special effect without him?
I was surprised that you guys were praising the script to an extent because I thought the plot was kind of nonsense while I had a very good time. But so I think that's a great question, Thomas.
Okay, that's just because I wasn't too sure why they needed him. I like just now thinking back through it, why they needed him to be the trigger person, aside from maybe they didn't trust themselves with the tech.
That is a great question, and because I saw it on opening weekend and seen it many times since, I don't even think about it anymore because I know Jerry Orbach's alive the entire time, right?
Well, they were going to kill him in the car, right? So maybe the idea was he committed the crime.
But that part makes no sense, right? Like, why would you have a special effects person be the person who's your trigger person? Like, they can't have that be the case because
then they can take credit for arresting and killing him. They can.
But why would he, aside from being a criminal because he's from Australia, why would he shoot somebody he doesn't know in a restaurant unprovoked?
Isn't there some lip service as to his background with the police that make him sound likely because he's got a short temper or something? I don't know.
No.
There is.
I mean, immediately the question should be because when does he get connected to the murder in the film?
He doesn't really.
Okay, because it's when he calls in, right? Is whenever there's two different investigations going on. And Dennehy's the one who puts it together, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better as far as the believability of the plot. It just seems a little odd to me to not have somebody who could be the fall guy go in and shoot him. But I guess also who really cares about a special effects person? Like, as
Yeah,
far
he's
as
a
like
nobody.
investigating that murder.
And to me, Thomas, the convolution of the plot is one of the things that makes it easy to just sit back and take it as fun, you know? Because it's like very hard to follow. There's another version of this movie that could be a very tense suspense film where you're like following him and there's no real shout out loud moments. It's mostly just him getting in and out of scrapes. But this is like to me, this was a hoot and a holler of a picture.
Yeah, I mean, he's escapes, takes his truck out of the fucking impound yard. It has the words FX so brightly painted on the other side. It's like, how does he think he is going to get out of the city in this? And he just does. They don't explain it. I thought, when he says, "Oh shoot, Andy, we got to get out and do something," and then he leaves her behind. I thought, oh, he's going to take the giant FX magnet off the side of the truck and put like a plumbing magnet up or something, so they wouldn't follow him and change the license plates. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, they don't even explain it. He's just driving around basically with a bright billboard on the side of both sides of his truck.
Yeah. I thought it was going to put a tarp or something down, A-Team style, or but no, it definitely is the most recognizable vehicle outside of maybe the Batmobile that he could be driving.
It is like a superhero car, isn't it? Very amusing. I'm glad everybody, all the supporting characters, they all get their little bits of business, and it really makes the movie world that it creates, feel well lived in. Like Andy gets her little bits, especially with the smoke bombs. Inez with all the computer stuff and her big glasses. Diane Venora, she's great. She has her part's not very big, but I liked like all her vocal intonations as she's going to. What was she going to?
I thought it was an audition, but it might have been rehearsal. Yeah.
It was audition. Yeah, I mean, all those little things just make it seem like for the movie it creates a nice little world. But I liked all the people in it. I liked like Dennehy's partner. Mm-hmm. He was great.
Mm-hmm. Roscoe from Sesame Street is his boss. Come on,
yeah. Nathan Arizona as his antagonist in the police department. Well cast movie.
There were two other movies this season that took me out of this film slightly, but only in a way that I was like, oh, that's amusing, and went right back into it. The first one was when we open with Orion and then we get the title card and the music. It really feels like RoboCop's about to start playing. Like for the first few bars of that song, I'm like, wait, is this FX? This is not the movie I was expecting, just by the soundscape and how the title card looks. The second is when I think that it's whenever during the chase scene, they like crash into some plywood construction posters. Maybe they're in a fight, but they crash into it, covering up that plywood construction. Those posters are for Rambo 2.
Yeah.
Which Dennehy is in, right?
No, he was in the first one.
Oh, he's not in the second one?
No.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, never mind. Because he's the sheriff in the first one. Why would he be in the other one? Never mind. But it did take me out for a moment while I was like, oh, wait. Is he in the film that we see as a film? But no. Okay, the movie's saved for that. That was my own lack of IMDb or seeing the second Rambo movie.
Yeah. So the ending of the movie, after Bryan Brown sets up a trap for Lenny Briscoe to electrocute his pacemaker, Mason Adams, who has one of the best voices ever, tells them that there's $15 million in Geneva, and they only know Lenny Briscoe or himself. And then you know exactly what's going to happen as soon as he says that, right? That he glues his hand to the gun. Yeah, and then the movie that sequence of the movie ends with the assault, and then Bryan Brown fakes his death and has established in the very first scene the little plastic rubber things over his wrist and his neck, so people think he's dead.
Oh wait, so is that what the cigarette burn thing was?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, how the fuck did he do that? And then I saw it, but then I couldn't remember what the telegraphing of the cigarette was. Okay, keep going, Bob. Sorry.
And then he escapes, and then Dennehy gets him at a dark alleyway and points the gun at his head and says, "We have to talk." And that's the first time they're introduced. This is like with 5 minutes left of the movie, and your two stars have not met at all.
Yeah,
I think in a modern movie they would have met. They would have made sure to have them meet earlier. But that's. But then they go to Switzerland, and it's going to be a Mission Impossible mask. And then the end credits with the totally weird illusion song, and they're like having a boys' holiday, just driving around. They just got $15 million. They're having the time of their lives. But that's it. It's like they don't have like any really scenes together where they're talking or any character development. They just meet. Go get the $15 million because Dennehy has lost his job because of the case. And now they're like boys in Europe.
Yeah.
That's the movie I want to see.
It could almost be a prequel to FX2, the way it's set up. Like, this is
holy shit. Met. Do you think the first film in a series could be a prequel to the sequel? The second movie in the series?
Whoa.
You know what I mean? It was made after the fact to be like, how did these two guys even meet? Anyway,
I see. That's true. Anyway, delightful ending. Very silly. The whole movie is very silly, but man, I just love New York City in the 1980s. Just has a look and a feel to it. Yeah, what a fun movie.
And there's people on the streets, right? Unlike the previous film.
Elephant?
Yeah.
And I may have enjoyed this more just because I found Elephant so unnerving. As unnerving of 40 minutes as I can remember seeing any movie. And this was just, it was just a blast from start to finish. You can see why it was big on video.
Yes, I waited until after watching FX to watch Elephant, so I had to decompress with some Twilight.
Oh my gosh.
Elephant. That was the only
one.
Oh, we started with New Moon. We're working our way through Eclipse right now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you know in the sequel if there's any man buns? Could you text your mom real fast and see if in FX2 we get any full frontal or backside?
Uh-huh.
I should ask her. I didn't watch FX with her. I wonder if that's because she wanted some privacy or she just didn't get around to it.
Anyway.
Next week, we're going to be pairing 1986, staying in the year 1986, Mona Lisa with Predator.
No, we're not.
Oh, no? What are we doing next week? Oh,
that's
shit.
That's
the penultimate one. Next week is Miller's Crossing and Way of the Gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another one picked specifically by Jack, which he will clearly not be here for. But we're having fun. Miller's Crossing is a must-watch for Squibs, though. I'm glad we added it late.
Me too.
I wish we would have edited it early, but...
Yeah. Do we have any White Stripes songs that you want to hum a few bars for as we sing us out, Ryan? Thank you for the theme song, by the way.
Was there any?
You can do Use Your Illusion.
Songs?
How about Use Your Illusion?
Ooh, yes.
'Cause you will be mine. Nope. It's You Could Be Mine. Jesus.
You could be mine, Jesus.
Cut it. We'll start over. Cut it.
He gets you.
You could be mine, but you're way out of line.
Whoa.
With your bitch slap rapping and your cocaine tongue, you get nothing done, Who doesn't know? Who doesn't know how Axel feels? Everybody knows. Bryan Brown knows.
Wow. Drop the mic and we'll see you next week.
Okay. That's an order.
Walker down South American way. It got squibby, sticky, messy when they got there that day. Peyton lost his love and so he made a face. Django met a dentist, but big holes in little brains. Montoya's chest exploded, somehow wasn't the cocaine. And there were squibs when they died. 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 Yeah, they made a big mess.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
As with every killing in this movie, he seems mighty tore up about that.
Do-do-do-do-do-do. Suck it, Chris! All right, plot. People are running and screaming and slipping. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
He's got to murder all those cops. That's the only solution.
There's so much tighty-whitey in this. I thought it was almost like a commercial at one point.
That is Australian business casual.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Nope. So you could be mine. Jesus.